Hi, I'm Chad Hoddle, and welcome to the second installment of Beneath the Spandex, the show which goes underground and uncovers the truth about real-life superheroes. As a kid, I loved comic books. I still do, and I used to fantasize about what it would be like to be a masked crusader, a secret vigilante. A lot of people experience this flight of imagination, but how many get to realize their dream? The answer, of course, is practically almost zero. Today, we venture to Great Yarmouth, where a man who goes by the name of the Spell Checker tries to rid his community of horrendous spelling and disgraceful grammatical error. Let's go to Yarmouth. Spell Checker, I presume. Nice to finally meet you in the flesh.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Hoddle.
Obviously, you've brought us here to Great Yarmouth today, which I understand is a hotbed of bad spelling and bad grammar. Just give us a little bit of insight into the good work that you do.
I do daily patrols of the town, of areas that I know to be problem areas for my line of work, and most of the corrections I make are impromptu. This is why I carry everything I need with me. However, if I do see a big mistake, I'll take a photograph of it and go back to Spell Checker headquarters to come up with some more plans and tactics of how to deal with it.
Okay, have you had anything big recently, or?
Nothing too heavy. It's mostly badly spelled graffiti. It's true to say that there are a lot of good graffiti artists around here, and especially down the road in Norwich as well. However, I cannot say too much for their spelling and grammar.
Now this can only be described as a utility belt, I guess. Do you mind just taking us through the items on there and explaining their significance?
Of course, of course. First of all, we have the Oxford English Dictionary, or the OED as us in the profession call it, and it's my Bible. I carry it everywhere with me. I'm never without it. I rarely need it for reference, of course, because my spelling skills are just so advanced. However, it is sometimes a comfort to have with me, and I'd never lose my side. Secondly, we have my red correction paint. Red is the universal colour for correction. It'll make sure that my work will always be stood out, and people will know when they have made spelling mistakes. Secondly, after that, I have my camera. Sometimes I need to take photographs of some large problems and take them back to Spell Checker headquarters, and the torch is reasonably self-explanatory.
Okay. Obviously the spelling and grammar is great, arithmetic not too hot, but that's good to know. So I'm curious about your opinions regarding the advances in technology, mobile phones, Facebook, that type of thing. Obviously the English language itself has taken a hit. What are your opinions on this?
It's an absolute disgrace, Chad. It is an absolute disgrace. It is a terrible development that the human race has acquired. All this lolling and rufflecopters as well that these children are saying nowadays, I think it's absolutely disgusting and should be made illegal.
Some obvious strong feelings there. I mean, but if this was against the law, I mean, what would you figure to be an appropriate punishment?
Well, I think a few days community service with me, that'll show them. If you'd like to, you can join me in a few hours and I'll show you a bit of what I do.
That sounds amazing.
Until then, Mr. Hoddle.
I met with the Spell Checker that night, and here's what he showed me. Look at him go. Shaking his correction paint, doing some corrections, and there it is, that signature tick. As you can see, he was very busy, as the graffiti artists around here really cannot spell. Just beautiful work. What a hero. Before disappearing into the night, we arranged to meet in Norwich tomorrow. He wants to show me something else. So here we are in Norwich with the Spell Checker as he prepares to undertake just one of his many critical weekly duties. Would you just give us a bit of insight into what we're doing here today?
Well, we're here at this building, which was a commissioned art project. On the sides of this building is written a whole book, And every week I come here and read a little bit extra of the book to try and find a spelling mistake. I'm yet to find a spelling mistake, but one day I will find it. One day, I know it's there. Excuse me while I take up my position.
This really is quite a spectacle. I'm having a hard time getting my head around this. It's got fucking crazy. Well, he's been up there for about 2 hours now. I think it's safe to say that unlike Superman, Batman, comic heroes of lore, this guy isn't really affecting millions. Okay? He's on a personal vendetta mission against grammar. Sadly though, that brings us to the end of this week's edition of Beneath the Spandex. But join me next week for some of this. Have you heard of the spell checker?
No, what is it?
No, I've never heard of it.
No, sorry.
No, never heard of him.
Yeah, I've had a couple of encounters with him, man. I mean, you know, we just out here in the streets, we just doing our thing, you know, expressing ourselves, you know, and like, he just come and cancels that out, man. It's not fair, man. You know, every time I walk past one of my tags, and like, you know, I see that it's been checked by him, it's worse than having someone else write over it, man. Like, no word of a lie to you, blood, I swear.